Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paul, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and I hope you have a great day. I also wanted to say to the people that still have their mothers around today that this is the day, Mother's Day is the day that you should show your mother appreciation. Is Mother's Day the only time you should show your mother appreciation? No, you should show her appreciation every day for what she does for you. Whether it be a biological mom, a stepmom, or an adoptive mom, you should be showing your appreciation for that mom. If you are someone that lost their mom, I'm very sorry for you, and I know how it feels. If you don't know, my mom died on February 5th, 2022, just a couple months ago. And this is going to be a very hard day for me. Every day is hard for me. I cry quite a bit because I'm used to my mom being with me. I'm used to taking care of her. I took care of my mom right up until the point she took her last breath. Okay. Um, it was very hard on me. And I know there's a lot of people out there that lost their mom, and this day, Mother's Day, is going to be hard for them. Just like if you lost your father, and Father's Day is going to be hard for you. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, you can always email my business email down in the description down below. If you want somebody to talk to, I love to talk to people, and especially in situations like mine. But I just wanted to remind everybody out there that you should be showing appreciation to your mom every day, not just one day a year. Just like Valentine's Day, you should be showing your loved one that you love them every day, not just on Valentine's Day. And like I said to the people out there that lost their mom, I know how it feels. Now, if you don't know, my mom had cancer and she died of cancer. And the reason why I say you should show appreciation every day for your mom or your parent or your brother or your sibling or your friend, it is because you never know when it's going to be the last day. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. In my case, I did not know. Okay. What happened with me was about 6 years ago, my mom went to the doctors and they found something on her lung. So they wanted to do a biopsy. I had to take her an hour and a half away to Syracuse. I live in Rome, New York, which is about an hour and a half from Albany, New York. And I had to take her to Syracuse to get a biopsy done on her lung. And I did that. And then after that, of course, we found out that it was cancer on her lung. And my mom at first said, I don't want treatment. I don't want to go through that stuff. And, I looked at the doctor and I says, well, doc, I says, what happens if she don't have treatment because she don't want chemo, she don't want radiation, whatever the case may be. And he had told us point blank right then and there that if she did not, she would only have 6 months to live. Now, mind you, this was 6 years ago, okay? And I've already lost a lot of people in my life. My dad died of cancer at 56. My aunt died back in 2000, 42 years old, of cancer. And then my grandmother died in 2006. So I've lost a lot of people in my life. But my mom, I wanted to keep around. I was very upset, and me and my mom looked at each other and started to cry when he said she would only have 6 months. And I begged my mom, I says, please try the treatment. I said, if you get sick like Aunt Mary, and you don't want to do it no more, then we will stop. And you don't have to do it no more. But like I said, the doctor said if she didn't get treatment, she would only have 6 months. So I begged her to get treatment, and she did. And she did very well with it. She didn't lose no hair. She didn't get sick. Anything, really. She lived a regular, everyday, fulfillful life. Okay? With going to treatment. She did have a lot of chemo, and it didn't bother her. It stopped working after a while, so they changed her over to another drug, and that did not affect her neither. She got an extra 6 years on her life because I begged her to try to get treatment. So she did. And it gave me an extra 6 years with her. Okay. What had happened was, like I said, she died February 5th, 2022. In October of last year, me and my mom both got sick. We both had the virus. As everybody knows what the name is, we both had the virus. I was very, very sick at home, fighting it at home. My mom, she ended up in the hospital. She wasn't on a ventilator or anything. She did very good with her breathing and everything like that, but she was still in the hospital to keep fluid in her and to get on medication for it. She did very well with the virus. Me, I fought it at home. Then what happened in October, my mom was released from the hospital and she came home, and I ended up going to the hospital because I had chest pain, and I thought it was from the virus. I thought it was just left over from the virus. And when I got to the hospital, they said, they did an EKG and they said, you got to go to St. Elizabeth's right now. It's an emergency. Apparently, one of my valves in my heart was 100% blocked. The night before, I was sleeping. I got up in the morning. What happened was I got up in the morning. I'm going to tell you the truth. I got up in the morning and I was wet and on the floor. And I was like, what the hell? I've never peed myself at night or during a day at all. Maybe when I was a baby, a child, yes, but not as an adult. So what happened was I woke up on the floor and I was soaking wet from peeing myself. I didn't know I had a heart attack. I had what you call a silent heart attack. It was when I was sleeping. That's why I ended up on the floor and all wet. So keep that in mind. If you're having any chest pains, if you're having any trouble breathing, being tired all the time, go get checked, please. Now, I think that God saved me, and sometimes I believe in God, sometimes I don't. But in this case, I believe He saved me to take care of my mom. While I was in the hospital, my mom was here at home alone and nobody was taking care of her. Somebody was giving her food and water and stuff like that, but at that time, my mom couldn't walk. So she had to wear like a Depends, and nobody took care of her. She sat in that until I came home after 4 days in the hospital. Once I got home, I started taking care of her. I started changing her, cleaning her up. She did have a bed sore when I came home. So I took her to the doctors immediately once I came home from the hospital. And I had them prescribe me a medication and I put it on her bed sore and I got that cleared up. Like I said, about that time, she was starting to have a hard time walking. Shortly after that, she couldn't walk anymore. And she couldn't take a shower by herself anymore, of course. But I told her, I said, you got to get up. You got to get doing what you were doing, mama. And I helped her out a lot. And she did get walking again. But then after a while, like the middle of November, she stopped eating. She had no appetite. I brought her to the doctors and told them she had no appetite and she wouldn't eat. And she was getting very skinny, very weak. And at this time, I became scared, and I was upset. Now, sometimes I try to blame myself for my mom's death because I said, well, she wasn't eating, but I was taking her to doctors. I was trying to get care for her, and I was trying to get them to subscribe something to her or put a feeding tube in her so she could get her nourishment back and maybe fight the cancer. Because at this time, we found out she had cancer of the liver too. And that's the time that the doctor told us. He said, well, the liver is cancer. And he said she has about 3 months to live. And I think she would have been able to fight the liver cancer also if she was in good shape, but by this time she was not in good shape. Let's put it this way, the doctor said 3 months, she lasted 5 days. That's it. She passed away 5 days. I basically was in the living room taking care of her. At the time of her death, hospice was already called and things like that. But I want to tell people out there hospice is okay. Hospice will provide you with drugs and things like that. Like they supply you with pills and morphine and things like that. So your loved one is comfortable when they pass on. However, they're not much help. I could tell you that right now. Hospice is not much help at all. Okay. Basically, you are the nurse. Okay. Hospice gets paid by Medicaid or whatever insurance. Okay. And they don't do very much. When I first called in hospice, they did bring my mom a hospital bed right away. They bring her a place to go to the bathroom right away and things like that and oxygen. But other than that, you are required to take care of your loved one until the end or have somebody else that can sit for you. Because they even told me at one time when I was taking care of my mom, I couldn't leave the house. She had no friends coming over. I had no family. I had no friends to depend on. So I actually couldn't even pick up my heart attack medication because I was sitting at home with my mom taking care of my mom. And hospice, they will not take care of your loved one that is passing on if they're non responsive. If they can't answer questions or talk to you, then hospice will not sit with that patient if they're non responsive. It's up to the family. October or February 1st, a little bit before that is when I started feeding my mom from a shot. I started feeding her from a syringe, basically water. She wouldn't eat anything, but and she couldn't really drink. By February 1st, I was feeding her with a syringe water. Okay, by February 4th, it got even worse. I was feeding her water through a syringe on February 4th, and at that time, she was beginning to even choke on that. She could not really swallow it. So she was beginning to basically choke on that. So I was giving that to her. Like I said, she was super skinny. You could see her bones in her legs. You could see her bones in her, stomach and everything. Her stomach was caved in at that time. And she was a little bit responsive still. And she kind of knew what I was talking about. She was saying some crazy things. But she kind of knew what I was talking about. And I always told her I loved her a million times a day up until the 5th. What happened was the 5th of February 2022 at about 10 p.m., 9:30, 10 p.m., somewhere along there. I was sitting by my mom and I was rubbing her head and I said, I love you so much, Mom. I said, if you have to go, then go. I don't want to see you in pain anymore. And I did keep on saying that. And sometimes I feel bad that I said that. But then on another hand, I didn't because I wanted her to go. I didn't want to see her in pain anymore. But I was rubbing her head and basically talking to her and telling her I loved her. And I had a pulseometer that you put on your finger and you can get the heart rate and you can get your breathing rate, your oxygen level. So I put that on her finger and I noticed that at one point her heart rate shot up to 160 something. Her oxygen level was down to 50 something. And then her heart rate went back to normal and her oxygen level went back to normal. It was like 99. And then it happened again. It shot up again to 160, her heart rate and the oxygen level went lower. And the heart rate and the oxygen level went back to normal again. And then it did it a third time. And the third time, the heart rate went up to 160 and again, and her oxygen level went down to 45. Right after that point, her heart rate dropped to like 60, and her oxygen level was all the way down to 30. And I knew it was becoming the time for her to go. So I was rubbing her head, and I got up for a second, turned around to go into the dining room, and then I decided to turn my head back real quick. I only turned my head for a second. She was gone. She took her last breath when I wasn't looking. They do say most people die when you're not by them or when you're not looking at them. They pass. They say a lot of people do that because they have respect for you and they know that it would be hard on you. So that's usually when they take their last breath, and that's when my mom took her last breath. I turned around and seen that she was gone, and I broke down hard because I was on the phone with one of my brothers, and I cried and cried. And I kissed my mother, and I said I was sorry. Sorry for what? I don't know. My brother even told me, you took very good care of her. You changed her Depends. You gave her a shower. I wasn't putting my mom in a nursing home or a care center at all. I wanted to take care of my mother and made sure she was taken care of right, and I did that right up until the end. So at least I could say that about myself, is I took care of my mom the best way she could be taken care of in the end days of her life. And that's what you should be doing for your mother. Even if she is not here, you should be showing respect and appreciation for the mother that you did have. Because if you lost your mother, you know you lost a lot. Now, I know there's a lot of mothers out there that give their children up, whatever the case may be. But if you have an adoptive parent or you have a stepmom, please show them appreciation. Most stepmoms, most adoptive parents, they adopt you to give you a life and to take care of you. And without adoptive parents out there, okay, kids would be in a lot of trouble right now without adoptive parents out there or even foster parents, okay? Now, if you're in a foster home and you have a mom and you have a dad in the foster home, but you don't call them mom and dad, it doesn't mean you can't show the foster home parents appreciation, because you sure can. Show them the appreciation for them taking care of you, because without them, okay, there would be a lot of kids in trouble. I see all over on YouTube where parents, mothers, and fathers, they're adopting kids with autism. They're adopting kids that can't see, that can't walk, that can't talk. These people that are adopting these children are giving these children the care that they need. They're giving them the love that they should have, and they're providing for these kids in a way that no one else would be able to provide. There's a family on YouTube that I watch, which is called the Killing Clan. If you didn't see them, they were a mother and husband. Now they're divorced, but they're a mother and husband that adopted kids from the Ukraine. They can't talk. They wear diapers. They can't really write. They can't really read. There's a lot of things that they can't do. Without them parents adopting that child, they adopted two actually from the Ukraine. Them children would be stuck in the Ukraine, and they would be stuck in a place with a bunch of kids that aren't very well taken care of. Basically, an orphanage. So think about that. If you were in an orphanage and you were adopted, or whatever the case may be, show your appreciation to those people, because those people have done a lot for you. Your mother has done a lot for you, no matter what. There was a couple years where I didn't talk to my mother, okay? And I regret it now. So if you're at a time that you're not talking to your mother for a specific reason, whatever, think in your head how you could fix that. Think in your head how you can work out something to talk to your mother again and repair that bond, okay? Repair that bond with your mother and show her some appreciation. But anyways, that's enough of my story for now. I might tell more of my story later on. I wanted to wish everybody out there happy Mother's Day, and I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. To the people out there that would like to talk, you can email my business email down in the description down below, and I will email you back. If you want to talk, you lost your mom, you're suffering from depression, anxiety, whatever the case may be. I love to talk to people, and believe me, I suffer from the same things a lot. I actually have a counselor, and I'm actually on medication for depression, anxiety, and things like that. So if you need someone to talk to or just want to vent to someone, you can email my email down below or put it in the comments down below, and I will answer you from there. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.